Okay, if I could have a resolution to come out of camera, please.
Resolved that as per section 152.4 of the Municipal Act, Council of the Rural Municipality of St. Clements does now resume sitting of regular meeting.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Spicer seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. So that brings us to number 8 on our agendas, which is communications for action. And the first one we have is the Manitoba Association of Regional Recyclers, their spring tour and annual general meeting, and I believe that's in Morden.
Yes, Madam Mayor, it's on April the 20th, and it's at the Morden Access Event Center, along with, there are some tours that have been established as part of it. They did provide an agenda, and it's $70 per person, and they provided an agenda for it, and lunch is included.
Okay, thank you for that. Heather, did we have anybody who's wanting to attend that in Morden?
I just have one question mark from David Sutherland.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going or not, but put a question mark, so
And when is it? April 20th?
20th.
So we could pass the resolution, and then once you decide, just
Okay.
let the office know. Go ahead, Councillor Strang.
Madam Mayor, I was just going to ask who's on the committee for recycling?
For Mark,
Yeah.
Dave is,
Thanks.
and I can't remember who the second
Oh,
is.
it is.
Scott.
Maybe our 2 representatives go together?
Or at least one.
Yes, at least one, yep.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I marked mine down no. I'm hoping Dave would go. But I guess if you don't mind passing a resolution with both our names on it, we'll get it straightened out and somebody will go.
Sure, that'll be fine too.
Resolved, Councillors David Sutherland and Scott Spicer be authorized to attend the Manitoba Association of Regional Recyclers Spring Tour and Annual General Meeting at the Morden Access Event Center in Morden, Manitoba on April 20th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, Councillor Strang seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Okay, the next one we have is the,
Women in Municipal Government at the AMM. This is the April 5th at 11:45 to 1 p.m. And if you're registered as a delegate for this event, there's no charge to it. They need to know who's attending so that they can make arrangements. And it's at the same location as the AMM event.
right, I'm just wondering, can you roll back up, because I thought I wasn't sure I registered myself, but I wasn't sure what the last day to register, because I noticed there was an email today that if you're not registered for the conference, you're too late. For the convention, you're too late. So. And I guess looking at the registrants list for this, it's not just women that are attending this luncheon, so
It's open to all.
it's open
delegates.
to all delegates. I'm not sure if anybody else was interested in going or not. I did register myself.
Okay. So if there's no one else interested, I will pass the resolution, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Resolved that Mayor Feeble-Corn be authorized to attend the Association of Manitoba Municipalities and Women in Municipal Government lunch at the RBC Convention Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba on April 5th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Horwath seconds. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, 8.3, AMM again, education seminar under the umbrella, and that is on Monday morning, and Deepak and I are not going to be able to attend, or in the morning anyways, because we have our Mayor's Reeves and CAO's meetings on Monday morning. And Monday afternoon, I'm kind of tied up with Manitoba Good Roads, so I won't be attending this at all. So I'm not sure if anybody else is planning to attend or... Anybody put their hand up? So who is all going to the conference then, that's here? You're not planning to go to this seminar though on that day?
I haven't had a chance to look at it, so no, not at this time.
Okay,
If you need somebody to go, I can go, but I'm going to the thing after or whatever. On this, I got time.
He's not registered for your event.
what's that?
He's not registered for the convention. So I don't know if he can go to it, can he?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, did you not register for the convention or ask the staff to register you?
No, I don't think so, because I didn't know if Wi-Fi is still be working or not.
Oh, okay,
Would you like us to look at registering you, Council?
the whole
The whole
convention.
convention?
I don't know about the whole convention. I mean, if I didn't, I wouldn't.
I think it was just 3 of you that were registered for the whole convention, the rest of us, with Deepak, Mayor, and Councillor Azarovich.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look at this one.
Okay, so we can just leave this resolution and not have anybody attend?
Yeah,
Okay.
and, AMM meeting invitation.
Yes, and this is Zoom meetings from AMM, and 3 dates have been identified, March 31st, April 12th, or April 21st, to meet with all AMM members, and these are Zoom meetings, and they're just asking us to identify which ones we would be interested in and then register. And the links have been provided for the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, Heather and I kind of talked about this before the meeting started, because we are here on the 12th for a committee meeting, and I believe we figured out that these meetings are all at 2 o'clock. So could we not do it here?
Yes, we could do the Zoom meeting right here.
But I have the date wrong, it's the 14th.
Oh,
Okay, the 14th. There's a meeting on the 14th as well, Zoom meeting.
oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we can still do it that day.
Yes.
Are you sure it's the 14th?
Yeah.
Because it says 12th on the advisory.
The
Yeah, it
Zoom
says
links
April
that they
12th,
do-
but the Zoom link says 14th.
Oh, okay.
But we don't have a meeting on April 14th, we have a meeting on the 12th.
Yes.
And when I click the Zoom link, it says the 14th.
Okay,
But there,
sorry.
but there one paragraph says the 12th.
So we could pick April 14th still and see what members of council attend, since we'll be registering through here anyways.
Right. Well, if we're gonna do that, is there a cost for registering, or is
No,
this?
there's no cost.
So we
This
could
is-
just do it from home if we were available?
Correct.
Okay, because I know none of those dates work for me, unless I can figure something out for the 14th.
Okay, so we could write a resolution, Madam Mayor, to, for mayor and council to attend.
Yeah.
So it'll be the 14th then?
Well, I think if it's written that way, and if we're just doing it from home, we
We
could
could
do
it
any
one of those
day,
dates.
but one of them is this Friday.
Mhm. Okay, so resolve Mayor of Feeble Corn and council be authorized to attend the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Executive Meeting via Zoom on March 31st, April 14th, or April 21st, 2023. So we have all 3 dates available.
Okay, so for whoever may be joining in, what are we going to ask if there are any questions? Because they said the executive would like to hear from you regarding any municipal issues or answer any questions you may have. So do we have any issues that AMM should be looking after? Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, so we've been asking for a new funding model for municipalities for years. Be nice to have an update on what's going on. And I'm just talking about, you know, infrastructure is a good example. So normally we end up paying a third of the cost of infrastructure if we get grant funding. But yet we're still only getting, what is it, 8 cents out of $1 of the overall taxes. So I think we still need to keep pressing and wondering, because the deal we're working on has been the deal for a long time, and things have changed,
Okay, anything
in my
else?
opinion.
So are you planning to attend which session? Or you don't?
I'm open for all three.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
on Zoom.
Okay, anybody else?
I don't know where it would go. I would be willing to write a little resolution on lobbying the province to, and not just St. Clements, but municipalities throughout the province, on funding for fire halls in terms of equipment. I mean, we're protecting Manitobans, we're protecting our resources, we're protecting our ratepayers. To me, that should be a little bit of provincial support there. It never has been, but the point I want to make is, you know, we have 3 fire departments, here's some of our costs. The costs are becoming unbearable, they're becoming unachievable. When is the province of Manitoba going to step in? And what I'd like to say is, it should be a yearly influx of money to all municipalities, and it be X, just whatever. We're willing to give you $800,000 every year as a ongoing, you put it to where you want for capital.
So much per capita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never happened, it's probably a ask that'll never get your chin wagged, but we have to ask, because in my view, these costs are becoming unbearable.
OFC used to provide.
Yeah, there used to be some funding.
Yeah, there used to be, but there hasn't been for a while, but,
But I still think they pay for training, anything if you attend training, they'll pay you for it.
I'm talking
They
specifically.
used to buy trucks for up north and that years ago.
well, see, and I think of equipment, but I also think of,
Turnout gear?
not so much turnout gear. I keep going back to the parking lots and where the expansion of the hall or improvements to the
Well, then
hall.
it should be money that we choose where to spend.
And I mean, it could be earmarked for, you know, maybe 4 or 5 different things, but let us choose where we want to spend that money,
Yeah.
if there is such a thing. Go ahead, Scott.
So basically then we should bring that up at this meeting, but yeah, if you want to do a resolution, that should go in for the June
June
1st.
district.
The June district,
Yeah.
I'll do one,
Yeah,
okay.
The only other one I would recommend if council wants to take into consideration is something related with provincial roads as part of main streets in municipalities. Such as, if I was to use Selkirk as an example, Manitoba,
Yeah,
mhm,
well,
we have
Main,
a commitment to keep those up to date.
yeah, Main Street,
Or Colville
Yeah.
would be ours.
mhm.
Henderson would be one of ours, as an example as well. Just the level of service on those should be at a higher level also.
yeah, because it's not existent right now, Deepak. There's,
Okay, so you'll attend, and we'll leave it up to you to bring those points up for us. I might try and sneak in on Friday, but the other 2 dates I'm not available for.
would it, and so the June district will have it ready for then, but would we not double it with the fall AMM as well?
No, well, okay, so you gotta have it ready for
June.
the council meeting before June the 1st.
Okay,
Yeah,
And then it comes up at that June district
Yeah.
meeting.
and then,
And if it gets passed, then it should go to convention.
right, okay,
automatically.
Yeah. I forgot about that, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay,
Okay, so next item on the agenda, Madam Mayor, municipal office yard maintenance. As you may recall, we've been using Gellers as our provider. And what we're recommending is a continuation for the municipal yard maintenance. As you may recall, we did go out for tenders on the snow clearing and only received 1 application. And Gellers has been providing that as well. And so what they would do is they've offered it at a reasonable, we're only looking at about $100 difference, less than $100 difference from last year as part of the budget. And they are charging about $100 an hour for the flower beds, if whenever, or if on a as-needed basis. And we're recommending approval to accept the proposal for 2023 with Gellers.
Okay, any questions, comments? Go ahead, Councillor Strang.
Did the tender go out for the summer or spring one then too?
No.
No.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
They doing a good job?
Yeah, they've been doing a very good job.
Go ahead, Councillor Strang.
I just want to let them know that I was the one that put the flower, I went and did the bedding plants here.
Yeah, they're not required to do the planting.
So we
Yeah.
can use them for it in this
Yeah.
round.
It's
of
$100 an
$100
hour.
Yeah, $100 an hour.
I'll do for $100 an hour.
I volunteered and did it at no charge.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
The
I did the
planters,
center, the planters, and
Yeah.
I did the center part underneath.
Okay. Well, is that sign ever gonna come down or be changed?
I can't do it until the winter, the snow's gone, get the RCMP.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Because somebody did ask me the other day
yeah, I'm not,
about the RCMP being here, and I said, no, they're not here any
No.
longer, so, okay.
we still need to pass the resolution
Yeah.
for AMM.
Oh, okay,
For him.
yeah, so we'll do
Just
that
before
one
we
first,
move
yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so that was no, we did pass that resolution.
No, I don't even have a mover or a second.
Okay, so I'd say resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and council be authorized to attend the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, the executive meeting via Zoom on March 31st, April 14th, or April 21st, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, second. Councillor Strang, any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so now we are back to our municipal office yard maintenance, and if I could have the resolution for that one, please.
Resolved, administration be authorized to accept the service proposal of Gellers Enterprises at an annual cost of $10,710.75 plus taxes to provide landscape services for the municipal office yard.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, Councillor Bazarowicz seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. The next one we have is the disposition of election materials, and I think there's a resolution for that from our SEO.
Yes, Madam Mayor, the resolution is whereas in accordance with subsection 149(2) of the Municipal Councils and School Boards Election Act, when the 6-month period has elapsed, the senior election official, A, must destroy the ballots in the presence of 2 witnesses, and B, may destroy any other documents or materials related to the election. And whereas, as of April 26, 2023, it will be the end of the 6-month period, therefore be it resolved that the senior election official and 2 office staff will destroy the ballots, poll books, and any other documents related to the election.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, any discussion?
Put a burning barrel in the back here.
Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Okay, 9.3, the Broken Head Trailblazers Power Toboggan Club, and if you could walk us through that one, please, Deepak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Broken Head Trailblazers Power Toboggan Club, BTBTC, has requested the RM to allow them to use the former railroad bed, which is now utilized by the Trans-Canada Trail, and it covers from Road 94 East to just south of PR 500 and Path 59 intersection as designated trail for snowmobilers in Manitoba. They said that they would maintain and groom the trail in the winter months. Both the Red River Trails Association and the ATV Club have already non-inclusive use of the lands, and they support the joint use with the BTBT see and have supplied us support letters. Recommendation is that we recommend that we pass a resolution authorizing them to use it use of the municipalities' private-owned lands, being that it is the former CMR operated lands located on Road 94 East to just south of PR 500 at Path 59 intersection as a snowmobile trail.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
This is gonna be a problem.
You believe it will be?
I think so, because I live out there, I know what, there's people walking on those trails there in the winter. And if this comes about, there's gonna be some pushback, I would think. As to how much of the trail, I don't know, not all of it, but some of it. More and more of those trails are getting used.
Oh, I know.
It's, like I think, I don't know who was here the other day, but they mentioned that we might have to start thinking about grooming those trails for people to walk in the winter. That's how much they're getting used. And I mean, who wants to walk on roadways just as if we need a sidewalk here for Cobra? So I don't know.
Well, that's the piece there, right,
Yeah.
Yes.
that they're asking about? So it's from Canterbury.
Broken and north. Yeah.
That's the real, there's some of it, but I know if it's gonna go on that railroad by Laconia on 500 there's people walking on that trail.
I don't think it goes,
No.
they're not, that's not where they're asking
They're
for
not
right
going?
now. I don't think so.
Well, I heard 500, so I thought.
I think it goes to 500 and then it.
Yes, it goes to 500, sorry, I called it out. The letter that was requesting to utilize the lands, what they've identified is, it's part of the Trans-Canada Trail, and the way we've identified it in our resolution, it is from Road 94 East to just south of part of PR 500. So it's from 94 East to just south of PR 500.
There's the map there too,
Yeah,
do you kind
and
of
so when we take a look at the map, it's going from 94 East.
That would be 94 north, not.
94, is that Patricia Beach Road?
No, it's just a rail bit along there they're
Yeah,
talking.
it's the rail bed we're talking.
Yes, the railway right here. From here, from Scantlebury and going all the way up down to 59 and just south of 500.
So that's not even gonna come along 500?
No,
No.
no, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a resolution.
Yes, we do.
Did I get a mover and a seconder?
I haven't read the resolution.
Oh, okay, good.
Whereas Broken Head Trailblazers Power Toboggan Club has requested the non-inclusive use of the municipal governed lands for the purpose of installing safety and navigation sighting, operating, maintaining, and inspecting a snowmobilers of Manitoba Snowman designated trail in the trail support area for a portion of the lands formerly known as the Central Manitoba Railway Railbed, formerly the CN Railbed. And whereas Broken Head Trailblazers Power Toboggan Club acknowledges and agrees to share and coexist with current authorized users of the requested lands being Red River North Trails Association for use as a recreational trail, and with the Red River North Trails Association acting as stewards of the Trans-Canada Trail, also being the Great Trail and the Bel Air ATV Club. Therefore, be it resolved, the Arm of St. Clements approve the snowmobile use on the railbed as described below. The municipality privately owned lands being the former CMR operated lands located from Road 94 East to just south of PR 500 at Path 59 intersection as per attached drawing, with a trail marked in yellow on the attached maps. And further be it resolved, a stipulation of this authorization is for the Broken Head Trailblazers Power Toboggan Club to annually supply the Arma St. Clements with a certificate of insurance with the Arma St. Clements as a named insured for liability insurance for use of the lands previously described, with a minimum amount of $5 million liability insurance to operate through the Broken Head Trailblazers, Power Toboggan Club, and Snowmobilers of Manitoba.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Sutherland, second. Counselor Bazarowicz. Any further discussion?
Yeah, question, so this is one for the reserve, pardon? Yeah.
I think
Partially.
So, we're having this insurance on us, like, are we covered to go through there? Or is it
Well, they have to get special insurance from that, they have to supply the First Nations with that insurance too, not just us. Because it's privately owned land, it's First Nations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
so that our.
It's got nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It's no liability on us, it's not our problem. I would think, I don't know, I'm just
So,
guessing.
Madam Mayor, if
Yes.
I could,
I don't think it's going
they
to.
have, they have informed us that they will be seeking permission from Broken Head, the Ojibwe Nation, as part of going through it. It's just it can't be part of our resolution.
Yeah.
That'll be part of their resolution to allow it.
Isn't there a letter in the information package from them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have the resolution read. I have a mover and I have a seconder. There are no further questions. I will call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
And I did correct the road number, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
And we received a letter from the province of Manitoba on 9.4 Guns Mill lease agreement, which is asking us to update the lease agreement for the Heritage Mill at just north of, or just south of Half Moon.
So that's for the stone
That's right.
The-
highways?
Yes, it's about $250 a year
Yeah.
for us to be able to use that. We have benches and other things around that. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll read the lease agreement recommendation.
Please.
Resolve the Crown Land Lease Agreement dated January 1st, 2022 between the Arma St. Clements and the Minister of Infrastructure for the lease of part Public Road Plan 42637 in RL 167 Parish of St. Andrews for the purpose of placing commemorative millstones be accepted and the CRB authorized sign and seal same.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Spicer, second. Counselor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Oh, sorry.
So,
Next item on the agenda is the Road 81 Devil's Creek Bridge Plan, and I think this was added on just today, so I'm going to turn it over to our CAO to go through some of this.
sure. Madam Mayor, Councilor Horbus had requested an update on this as the road has been closed and where we are on the bridge. And so I brought forward the resolution and I also provided some details from previous correspondence with the province of Manitoba. And in October of 2021, they had asked us to pass a resolution in support of building that bridge. They had to acquire some additional land as part of that. Their original plan, when they had communicated to us at that time, was that the bridge construction to occur in 2022 and the road construction to occur in the summer of 2023. I am not sure if any of the bridge construction has occurred to date, so I'm suspecting that they are behind schedule. But we've done all we can by giving them its provincial bridge, and we've given them the authorization and support through a resolution. That resolution was passed in 2021.
Would they need easements from who live, like the Veronas are right there?
Correct.
Are they- they're
Yeah, I think
being-
they were looking at getting some easements and expanding, and I think they were looking at some access.
But if they didn't get easement there from them, if they weren't willing to sign off, they would expropriate to do this, or what?
They could, and that would be the decision that they would have to make. so,
Because it's 2 years this road's been closed.
exactly, yeah. And it's unfortunate, and they did provide us the details of what they needed, and I provided that for you.
That's-
It's not for public
Okay.
consumption.
That picture at the end, is that just an example of what it could look like? Is that what the picture's for?
This here,
At the very
Apparently,
end, there's a picture, a colored picture of a bridge. I don't know, are they just saying this is what it could look like? Okay.
apparently they want to put, they're putting pipes in there, and they want to put railings along that road.
Yeah, well, have a look at this picture. I'm not sure if this is what they're suggesting, but
Yeah, there's railings,
Yeah,
request, well, looks like they're planning.
because that ditch is quite deep there too.
yeah, it's in that one. You got the very end.
okay, yes.
Keep going to the bottom, right there.
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking at, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Something similar to that.
Okay.
So that's not our, we don't have to go into our,
No.
bridge.
No, it's not ours.
No.
Which one are you looking at there?
It needed to get fixed.
Here,
Oh, yeah, it is.
it was the,
It's like this, like a Dukes of Hazzard. Can you
It's
get that?
like, yeah, woof, yeah.
It goes like
Land
this.
requires?
Devil's Creek Bridge replacement site, if you go.
But it's been like that forever, I can remember.
Yeah.
from a kid.
As a kid, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Last one.
Yeah, that's quite the bridge, though.
I hit that with my '67 Cougar in 1982. We went flying. Won't tell you what I was doing, but
Don't need to.
So, we'll make some further inquiries, Councilor Horbus, and
40
see if there's
years
what
ago.
status is.
Okay, thank you.
Don't tell me we're getting chased by the COs.
no.
That's all, that's all I want to be one.
Night.
Okay, we're gonna move on to, number 10 on our agendas, which is the accounts and the financial statements, and I believe that there's a resolution for our accounts.
Resolved, Council approve the March 28, 2023 list of accounts, check numbers 23,000,386 to 23,000,439, the amount of $224,772.24 for payment.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Sutherland, Counselor Spicer, seconds. Any discussions, questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And on that one, you and I briefly talked about it the other day about the payroll part of it. Yeah, so,
Discuss
okay,
there.
okay, thank you. So we are at the bylaws, and we have bylaw number 4 of 2023 for first reading today. So if you could read the resolution, we did have our public hearing this morning, and our CAO reviewed the materials he had prepared, and there were no residents or delegations in the audience who made any representation, so we can proceed with first reading in any event, so I will ask for the resolution, please.
Resolved, bylaw 4 of 2023 being a bylaw to provide for the expenditure and borrowing of funds to complete phase 2 of sewer construction and to construct water pipelines to the South St. Clements utility catchment area, be given first reading.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Spicer, Counselor Strang, seconds. Any further discussion? Go ahead, Counselor Bazarowicz.
Should we be putting a dollar on it?
It's in the bylaw.
It's in the bylaw. Counselor Boulanger.
At some future date, are we able to put in somewhere in our newsletter, and when I say a future date, I mean when we're prepared to talk about it, and that is moving some water to the west side of the river to St. Andrews, that our ratepayers see that, you know, even though we're taking another venture, the long-term plan is to have a lot of that paid back through selling of water. I mean, I'm not sure when we say that or when we,
Or how we say it.
Or how we say it.
That's for sure, probably.
Well, I think what we have to do is wait for the municipality on the other side to finish their review or their
Okay.
study and make a decision as to what they're going to do. So is that,
Correct.
Because it might not happen.
And I am scheduling a meeting with the new CIO to get a confirmation where they're headed. I know that the engineering studies are going to be recommending that, and they really don't another source of
Okay.
water for the south.
Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
And I guess to give them any actual numbers, it would have to be after the agreement is negotiated.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, you could give preliminary, but if they're asking specifics.
I would suspect that the recommendations are going to be consistent, considering they did receive funding from Manitoba Water Services Board to do the study to utilize a regional water source.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are at the communications for
They
insight?
haven't moved it though.
Oh, okay,
You gotta move her in a second, but we just,
Didn't vote on it?
Yeah.
okay, so we have a mover and a seconder for bylaw 4 of 2023 for first reading. So I will now, if there are no further questions, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, communications for information, number 12 on our agendas. And I'm not sure if there's anything that we want to have a look at there. I don't know about this one. I'm looking at 12.2.1, if one of ours is in there or not. No, that's the information on the next round of grant applications.
Correct.
And I think, if I remember correctly, Brenna is working on trying to get some organizations to submit some grants, because apparently
Yes.
there is funding, and I have a check-in every couple of days to see if I have any more people that are going to be, or organizations that are going to be applying for grants, so. Anything that you wanted to speak to there, Mr. Administrator?
No, Madam Mayor, you did address the one item I wanted to bring up, is that we will be looking at working with, especially the East Selkirk Rec Center specifically, because this is for the large grants.
Right, okay. Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Just two quick things. So the flood outlook has changed a little bit. They're concentrating more on south of the city for the Red River, but you might have a few properties in the south end there that we always have.
Yes, and
challenges with.
from last year's experience, Tyler has identified many of those properties, and we're putting extra attention to all of those properties this year. And we've already brought out sand here, and I've informed all our residents to pick up sandbag, to make up their sandbags as necessary. And then as we begin to see some further melt, there are some pre-made sandbags as well in Public Works that we'll bring over.
And the other thing is the lake friendly makes reference to some natural assets work that the WMR done. And I just wanted to bring it up because we might be able to incorporate some of that into our asset management. That's all I had, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they want to mention while we're looking at these? Okay, then, sorry, Sandra.
It's okay. I was just gonna ask, when you mentioned about the residents that might be, that to bring attention that they may have water problems, are you gonna, Tyler, maybe gonna send them out an email to say, we have these, just that those ones that are more flood prone, that we, just to make them more aware for
Good point
communication
that
with
we
them.
can,
Yeah.
there are some that have communicated to us already, and we've kind of called them back. There were some residents that were at one of our public open houses and were concerned because of the work that happened at the activity center site about flooding, and so we've already identified that and communicated with them. But we'll continue
I
to
just thought,
monitor. That's a
we
very
get
good.
less phone calls maybe to
Yes.
the office, and knowing
Yeah.
that they know that we are on
That's a
top
very
of
good
it.
point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I guess we can go down to council reports. And I'm going to start with Councillor Spicer today.
Okay, so March the 15th, we had Red River Planning District. Was a bit of a long day. We had governance training first, and then our regular planning meeting. And then March the 17th, we had the Collaborative Leadership Initiative. Now, we did, recognizing that there's a lot of new counselors around the table after the election, there was a fair amount of, let's call it, review of the history to this point. And I did just bring up that land and water and other natural resources inventory so that you can take a look at that on the website, and I have a handle here if you're interested. This was the 10th meeting. The first one was in 2017. And they're looking at a new MOU for the Collaborative Leadership Initiative because the old one has expired. Talked a fair amount about the treaty land entitlement process. Also, had a stat here, I can't find it. So there's 1.1 million acres of TLE land in Manitoba, and that's 1% of the land mass in Manitoba.
TLE was, sorry.
Treaty land entitlement. So far, out of the 1.1 million acres, there's been 532,000 acres set aside. So they're about half done. And they started in 1997.
I remember that.
So we still got some work to do. And then they had a panel on the Captain Barracks and some of the pitfalls and challenges they went through. One of the interesting things that came out of the discussion was even having challenges within the specific organization, meaning the city, of them wrapping their mind around how this would work. You know, example, how do we hook up to the water? What would the process be? What would the cost be? How would it work? So it's not just working with the two entities, but there's also some mind shift in each one of their own entities that had to take place. There's some chats about watershed security, and more opportunities for collaboration. And I think I'll stop there so the mayor has some things to talk about. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, you did a good job. Thanks, Scott. Go ahead, Councillor Bazarowicz.
I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Horbis.
I have nothing to report.
Councillor Sutherland.
I have something to report, not very much. March 22nd, Red River Basin fundraiser. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
I was gonna correct you, but I didn't.
That's it for you, Dave?
That's it.
Okay, go ahead, Councillor Strang.
Okay, I'm going to be reporting back from March 1st. So March 1st and 2nd, I attended my first Red River Basin board meeting. And they represent 18 counties in Minnesota, 22 counties in North Dakota, and 48 municipalities in Manitoba. Lots of new people sitting around the board table, so it was a lot of introduction meetings, and mostly was going over a lot of the goals of Red River Basin, their projects. Our conference, they did the next conference will be in Fargo, January 16th to 18th, and they went over the comments from the Winnipeg conference at the Fort Garry Hotel. So, and all of those I did include in our package. The biggest thing I took from the meeting is keeping better communication with everyone. So one of my things as a board member, I've sent out to 13 municipalities for the North. And I'm just going to keep, every time that we attend these board meetings, to keep everybody in the loop of what they're doing. One of the things I did hear from some of the municipalities is they want to know is what is the Red River Basin doing for our municipality. So I did reach out to Ted and to Rebecca, and I did put it in there that they could go as a delegation to come in front. So if we want them, that they would come out in front of us too. March 7th was POW Committee of Whole, and March 13th to 15th I attended the Manitoba Rec Conference. The theme was Connect 23. One of the things is getting everybody back in with in-person, bringing community back together, volunteers, getting all our events starting to go. So there lots of areas now are looking for people to run the community, but they're saying not to have people just as a specific person, make it a dual job. Because they say people are more bound now to go together rather than having people on their own, because everybody's been on their own during COVID. One of the other topics that they had was back to humanity and disconnect with technology. In 4 years, or say the average person in 4 years, that's what they take from looking at your phone. That's what it takes off your life. So just some of the little tidbit things makes you want to, and that was one of the things, is disconnecting with the technology. The other thing is recreation to our communities, helps healing with social, mental. That was another session that they had. A gentleman named Brent Barudes, he was a really good speaker, and how we live now in a demanding instant social world, and all of it is back to technology too. So, and how everybody expects an answer right away. They expect you to be on there. They say the average person on LinkedIn now, their age is lowered to age 13. Haven't gone on there, but he was just giving us different things of social media. Getting communication out to our residents, what's the different ways, being more adaptable. And he said, like, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but he said still going back to the old-fashioned letter, because he says you have to look at your the clientele of who you're servicing. So us in our municipality, we have it all. So what else do we have? Oh, one of the other concerns, in a session that we did have, which was a different one, which I would recommend them having all the time, was all the municipal leaders got together. And one of them, the board members, is a counselor in the RM of Verdun, or the town of Verdun. And she brought up and wanted to know what's going on in our municipalities and what can Rec Manitoba do for us. So one of the things that was brought up that's quite a concern is the ticket, refrigeration tickets, that they're going to be required having, and we do, but over at East Selkirk, at the arena there. So that's one thing that, and they say it's very expensive, but they say that it is going to be a requirement. So I don't know if somebody's going to, or like, I'm sure Brenna's been in contact with them. I have to say, one of the things, Deepak, I was very impressed with Brenna there. So I ran out of business cards. I didn't have any. I think I've had like 3. And and Brenna says to me, "Oh, come with me." She went and took her little bag out, and she has business cards of all of us. And I said, "Wow." She has Deepaks and the mayors and each one of us counselors, and she takes it. She says, every time I'm networking or every time I meet somebody, she says, if I feel that that person would be great to contact, if it's somebody from Ward 1, Ward 2, wherever, she says, I give them the business card. So I said, wow, I was very impressed with that. So I think that's a great thing for a lot of the staff, like going out to conferences. And so at the evening on March 15th, we had our Red River North Tourism. And tomorrow night is their AGM, and everyone is welcome at the Canalta. I did get in trouble at the meeting because I did call it the Bridge to Nowhere.
Yeah.
And I did have one of the board members, and I did ask him, I know it's called the Peter Dinabin Bridge, but anyways, I said to him I said to come back with information, because I said that's something that so many of our residents, I did apologize, and I said that so many of our residents, but I said that would be a good thing to have a little blog about, just to get more information on the bridge.
In here, they write about it, but they don't say that about it. They say it's a monument, how big it is. They compare it to, it's one of the most looked at bridges in Manitoba.
Excellent.
In this book here, it's my reading.
I'll borrow it, Dave. I'll go back.
It's a whole bunch downstairs.
And then on Saturday, I have the wrong date here. I have March 15th too, but it wasn't. We had our Interlake tourism retreat at Okanagan Marsh. And what it is revamping their committee, their group. So they're taking 28 board members down to 12. And they're going to have 6 municipal and 6 from the industry. A lot of people have concerns, but it is something that I said to them that you're still going to have, that for us to take information back, so they said maybe 4 times a year that they'll have for every season, that they'll still have a meeting. But otherwise, for all their governance, they just find it way too hard when everybody's on Zoom. So we did a revamp. One of the things that we're going to add to Driftscape is, to their app, is Indigenous experiences. So one of the things that they did connect up was with Indigenous tourism, and that's an area that Melissa is right now looking into to expand, and with the reconciliation, she said it would be a great thing to add to it, so that so many people are interested in looking into history in it. Interlake Tourism is almost 40 years old, and their true mandate has come down to marketing now. And I think the other thing they did is they went over everything from A to Z with it. And I said it would have been something really great if they would have had that. They have it at the beginning for every 4 years. So the board member and their alternate was invited. And March 22nd, I attended also the Red River Basin Fish Gala. And Chris Adams gave a report on Netley Marsh. And he works for the Red River Basin part-time, and is a U of M student doing his thesis on the Netley Marsh. His presentation was actually very interesting, so he did the beginning preparation, where we're at now, and the possibilities of the future. And that's it.
That's it?
It's a whole month for me.
It's a whole hour for me.
Go ahead, apologize.
Just the 28th, the fish dinner that we went to was very well presented, and good speaker on the Netley Marsh. It was, that's good information. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you for that. not gonna go through all mine here either. We had on March the 14th, the regular council meeting, and then the 15th, we had the RRPD orientation on governance done by a chief, plus our regular meeting, and Councillor Spicer reported on that. In between the two RRPD meetings, I did sneak into the other room and zoomed in on a WMR meeting, and it was to do with the assets that are going to be transferred to the capital planning region. So what was done was a whole listing of all the assets, their worth, and everything was put together, and it was just presented to the board for information purposes, because all that has to be transferred over to the capital planning region. And the deputy minister advised that the province is working hard to transition to a new board. And I don't know if this is the right word, Deepak, maybe you will know if I'm out in left field. They called this person an interlocutor, has been hired to set up the first meeting. I'm sure that's the word that was used, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm saying it correctly, so. A what? So anyways, it looks as if the first meeting is going to be at the beginning of May. There's a transition date set, and hopefully it will proceed that way, so we'll see what happens. Then March 17th, the CLI meetings, and Councillor Spicer pretty much covered all that. The only thing, I guess, I kind of always I always really listen, Laren Bill, who works with the TLE, and we have a talking stick when you're going around in a group with the CLI members. When it's your turn to speak, you get the talking stick and you hold the talking stick while you're speaking, and he explained the one that they have now, who made it and why it was done and everything. So I always find that very interesting. The MOU, as Scott said, was signed, and it has to be re-signed, and I brought some information there, and I'm going to leave it here, and also Councillor Spicer brought some information. But in the CLI one, there is a listing of all the members and their contact information if you ever wanted to get a hold of another elected official or one of the chiefs from one of the reservations that belong, then you can just, that will hopefully stay here and be available. They also did a tribute to Gary McLean and Rodney Burns, who were instrumental when we first started, and they both passed away, so they had a little bit of a tribute, more to Rodney because he just passed away here a month or so ago. And I guess in the next little while there will be some footage on one of the sites, because the film crew was here from BC and they've been filming every session that we had, so it's always kind of interesting. And again, our BC fish dinner was very good, and I was going to comment on the Netley Marsh presentation, except I couldn't remember the gentleman's name. And the other thing that was done was the Village of Donator was presented with an award for their duckweed project on their lagoons, so. And that's all I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you mentioned some filming there. Did everybody hear what Winkler's doing?
Not Winkler, Niverville.
Is it Niverville?
The big studio.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
30 million bucks.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, Niverville,
Okay.
yeah. So. Go ahead, Deepak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, my update, I provided the report, and I will go through it quickly. So, as part of my report, first item, the curbside bylaw, the RMS draft.
Yeah.
Okay. Curbside bylaw, the RM has drafted a bylaw for curbside collection, including recycling, and bring this forward for discussion with council in the next 30 days. The intent is to collect through the utility billing, and the contract for services has been extended with the existing provider for 1.5 or 2.5 years. As to the daycare project in East Selkirk, work continues on the construction of the daycare building. You'll notice the site team has completed the foundation and they're beginning as well. We will be beginning negotiations for the lease agreement with our daycare provider, Ag Daycare. And they have already submitted applications to the province of Manitoba for the operational startup grants that they would require as part of that. As to the East Selkirk water treatment plant, the general contractor will be addressing seasonal deficiencies in the spring. Training for staff on the operations has already been completed. The curb stop connections, public hearing for the local improvement LID in order to connect to the municipal sewer has been completed, and the information has been submitted to the municipal board. Only those who have voluntarily enrolled in the LID or paid in advance will have curb stops installed. As to the Manitoba Water Services Board, has approved a $3.25 million in grants for a total of $6.5 million in water and wastewater infrastructure projects, of which we just went through in bylaw 4. The projects are for decommissioning of the Lockport wastewater treatment plant and construction of the water line from East Selkirk to Lockport. A borrowing bylaw for the construction, as we discussed earlier, for the water main line has been put forward, and the decommissioning of the Lockport treatment plant will be paid through the reserve accounts. It should be noted that the agreement has already been signed with Manitoba Water Services Board for the decommissioning of the lift station, and we should be getting going on that very quickly. The general meeting, as you know, I've been away for part of the month, and meetings with RPD, meeting with the province on ISIP grant information, and the various general meetings with business operations and developers. Along with that, as I mentioned, I'll be providing monthly updates on various items related to the fire department statistics. For February, we had 15 emergency-based calls. East Beach is having 3, East Selkirk having 9, and Narrow having 3. When you take a look at it, the majority of those calls there were 4 structure fires, as well as 4 motor collision. And the next highest is in the medical assist. And then there was some single ones. It's beginning to show you the statistics, and our plan is to continue to update these statistics and provide a much more detailed quarterly or semi-annual reports. And that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you for that. Heather, do you have anything you want to share with us today? I should have asked if anybody has any questions for Deepak on this report. Go ahead, Dave.
Just one, the water treatment plant there, will they be paying penalty on, how much penalty will they be paying?
They did have some penalties. I will have to check with Manitoba Water Services Board. They were receiving some penalties for each day that they had gone over from.
I've got somebody who's calling me on that, so
Yeah.
if you can give me an answer on that, that'd be good. Thank you.
Question?
Go ahead.
A couple of questions. Did the letter yet go out to the Minister of Highways on regarding the sidewalk that we put together? Is it not out there, or gonna go out, or?
It's going to go out.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get it out before.
No, I'm just asking, I just want to follow up on it, and an opportunity that you may have, Debbie, on talking to Minister Wharton on it, to sort of coincide with the
Yeah,
letter.
I actually was gonna phone him yesterday, and I was waiting for some information on the grant part of it, because he's checking on, who's gonna be applying for grants, so I was kind of wanting to do it all in one, so
Okay.
the next couple of days I should be able to get it done.
Okay.
See, they're coming up in the polls, eh? In the paper today, it said the
Yeah.
Conservative have jumped up 3 points. All this money they're giving away.
Do you want to go to Cameron?
So they're about votes.
We can go in camera if you like, and then figure out some of the other items.
Well,
All of
yeah,
those
are in the summer.
well, or some of them anyways. Okay, so we're gonna go on camera, and then we'll have our break, and there are still a number of items that we need to discuss in camera. Some of them we can discuss while we're having our break here. So can I have a resolution, please?
Resolve the council recess the regular meeting and go into executive to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be it resolved that all matters discussed are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)D of the Municipal Act.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Sutherland seconds. All in favor? Opposed?